What's going on, guys? Just Pedro from Soul is back with another video. This time we're going to be doing a guide on the bot PhantomAIO. PhantomAIO is an all-in-one bot from the company Ghost AIO. The bot currently features sites like Foot Locker, Foot Action, Champs, East Bay, Mr. Porter, Finish Line, Foot Patrol, Off-White, YME, and BSTN, currently with more sites coming in the future. Just a quick run through of the bot. It features the tabs Create Task, View Tasks, Profiles, Analytics, and Proxy Tester. And then that gear right here, this is the settings. So to start, we have our Create Tasks tab. This is where you'll select what site you're running. For an example, we'll just use Foot Locker. That's fine. Make sure you pick which region of the site you're doing for Foot Locker anyway. Oops. Yeah, so for Foot Locker, make sure you're picking what region you want to use. You'll want to use your SKU that will be provided in the release help in the Discord. We'll just do that just for now, just for a test. This is where you'll pick your size, what size you want to run, the quantity of tasks you'll want to run. So that's 1, 5, 10, whatever you want to do. And then here's where you'll select the profile that you want to run those tasks on. So we'll do test profile. This random email checkbox is good. We'll get into that when we're going over the profiles. But I would recommend using that and checking that. There's also the option of running a full size run, where you could pick your starting size and your ending size, and then how many size runs you want. So this is what 5 sizes, 5 runs. If we were to create that, it would be what's it called? Was that 25 tasks? There's also the option to do a task specific proxy. I mean, you can use that. It's a nice functionality to have, but it's not really necessary. So yeah, you would create that. That would go into your view tasks. I had these already created. So yeah, these are the tasks I just created, as you can see by the SKU. There you go. So that gets us to our view tasks. View task is where you're gonna start, stop, delete all, import and export your tasks. Phantom has the ability to open a captcha window if the site has captcha, as you can see. Currently, foot sites do not have captcha, but if they were to ever, implement that in the future, Phantom would be able to solve captchas. Next, you have your profiles. Profiles are pretty self-explanatory. Just enter the correct information in each box. Make sure you're picking your country. As far as profiles go, foot sites do ghost order a lot. So when using your cards, VCCs, and privacy, since they do work, it is recommended to try to have as close to 1-to-1 as possible, one profile for each task. Again, a lot of the time that's not possible. Privacy has limits, VCCs have limits, you have credit limits, things like that. So just try to get it as close as possible. That way, instead of getting ghosted, you're getting as many actual order confirmations as possible. Next, you have your analytics tab. This is where you can see the progress of your bot. This is the best tab to sit on while you're letting your bot run, because it'll be the smoothest. It'll have the least amount of lag. If you're sitting on here seeing all these statuses change, when you're running 1,000 tasks or 500 tasks, it's going to be really laggy, and it could cause your client to crash. So the best way is to just sit on the analytics tab and to just let it run. Then we have our last tab here. You got the proxy tester. So here's where you would test your proxies. I don't have one to test, but here's where you would. Here's the ID. Here's what will come out. Here's the result. It would test. It would give you a speed back in a green if it's good, red if it's bad, and it will say bad if it's bad. That one's pretty self-explanatory. If they are bad, you want to remove bad here, and then this list would get cleaned up, where it would take those bad proxies out and you would just have a good proxy list. However, this isn't where you want to leave the proxies. Um, Pretty much every other bot, the proxy list is and tester is all in one. You would just resave it. But with the Ghost software, it's actually a little different. You would want to take this list here. You would want to copy that and then go up to this gear here. So in this gear, this is your settings tab. This is where you have your Discord webhooks, um, your retry and error delay, and your proxy list, and then your subscription management as well for when you want to renew, if your key's renewal. So so here again, you got your webhook. If you don't know how to do a webhook, you could probably ask anyone in any group that you're in. It's pretty easy to do. Um, you could probably check my last video for Hasty. I showed how to set up a webhook in there. It's the exact same thing. Um, as far as your retry and error delay, that depends on how many proxies you have. Um, I recommend running at least 1 to 1 for task to proxy ratio. Um, I personally probably run about 3 to 1. Uh, 2 to 1 is still good. Then you can have a nice delay, a nice low delay. Um, when I run an error delay, I usually run about like 500. So every like half a second, it's refreshing or retrying when it's erroring out. But then that bans your proxies faster. So that all depends on how many proxies you have. But this is where you would paste those proxies. When you get a list of proxies, you would paste them in here, press save, and then that would tell you exactly how many proxies you have loaded. So if you have 100, it should say 100 here. 500, it should say 500 here. And then that's how you know you captured everything. To deactivate your client, if you want to activate it somewhere else, you would just simply press this button. Um, Invite to beta. This will go away once it's out of beta. But um, currently, if you have an invite code, it would give you, access to invite someone else. And then subscription management again. If your key is not lifetime, lifetime, you'll have the year of either 2069 or 2070 as your expiration year. I'm sure in 50 years, we're not going to be buying shoes. So, yeah, if you have to renew, then you would click here as your renewal date's coming, and it would prompt you on how to renew. So yeah, again, that's how this bot works. It's pretty simple. Phantom and Ghost. If you're familiar with Ghost, you would know that that was one of, if not the easiest bot to run. It's very very dummy proof, so you can't really mess up with your setup. Um, and then once it's started, you just let it go. You don't really have to do anything. Um, Here's your check for updates. For when there's updates, you just hit this and it'll prompt the update if there's one required. Support. This will take you to the Ghost Zendesk where you can search things or put in a ticket if needed. And then Twitter. This will take you to the PhantomAIO Twitter. So again, this is a very good bot. We'll just go over a few quick tips. So here we have quick tips, just a couple reminders. I said it already, but we'll say it again. Profile to task ratio. Try to get it as close to 1 to 1 if possible. That way, you're not getting ghosted. Foot sites ghost a lot, so that's just a way to try to prevent ghost. Proxies to tasks. A minimum of 1 to 1 is what I would recommend with the moderately high error delay, probably like 2,000, 3,000. I recommend 2 to 1 personally. I personally run 3 to 1, but it all depends on what you have, what your resources are. Again, sit on the analytics tab right here once you start all your tasks to prevent lag and crashing and all that kind of stuff. And then a big thing, people always forget to do this. I used to forget to do it a lot myself when running Ghost back in the day. Don't forget to paste your proxies in the settings in here. Paste them and save them in here. Don't just leave them in the tester. That does nothing. You have to paste them in here and save them in here under the settings, this little gear over here. So again, that's Ghost. This is Phantom. That's a pretty easy. It's a pretty easy bot to run. Not really that much to it on the user end. We know the devs are working hard to make sure that we have a very easy experience. So thank you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Twitter or on Discord. Um, and if you like the video, like, subscribe. I'll be doing more bot guides and all that kind of stuff. So thanks, guys. You have a good one.